everyone, and a Merry Christmas to you all. Tomorrow is the last day before Christmas, and I'm sure you're all looking forward to it. Well, for tonight, we bring you more on home habits, in which you join me at the kitchen studio for a creamy corn chicken recipe. Followed by that, we have a new show for you, which is called MediChat, in which we speak to our very own scientist in the medical field. We also have Bank South Pacific with this month's update, and Brian Bell with a Christmas gift idea for your children. And last but not the least, we give you more tips on money and budgeting this festive season. Earlier on, for our home habits segment, I decided to share with you a delicious creamy corn chicken recipe. Hope you like it. To start off, this is what I have for home habits, showing you how to do a simple cream corn recipe. Okay, let's start with our recipes for tonight. I have chicken breast. Followed by that, we have some spirals that are in here. We'll cook in a separate pot for that. I've got the pot of water heating up at the moment. We have some broccoli. It's up to you what type you want to use, whether you want to use greens or not, but for me, I decided to use broccoli for tonight. And some diced carrots that you can, it's up to you what shapes you'd like to cut them up. We have one onion cut up into pieces. This is red capsicum, just to give the color and flavor to our cooking for tonight. And some beans from the shop. You can also find them at the market. And also a bit of oil to stir fry our ingredients. And we have cream corn. It's in a can. You can find this in any supermarkets. Something that you can do. So cream corn, that's one of the ingredients to go with the chicken. I'll just heat this pan up. We'll start off now. Just put this up. Yeah, good. And let's just check to make sure our water is boiling, heating up. Yep, it is. The first thing we will add, we need to get our spirals in and get them to boil. While it's boiling, we have to stir fry all these ingredients together, starting with the chicken. I already put the rice. It's boiling, so it's up to you if you want to serve with rice or any sort of vegetable that you prefer. Well, for tonight, we just prefer to use rice, and it's boiling. Okay, first up, let's just add this in. Just make sure the hot water doesn't spill over, and if you have kids around, you have to be careful with that. Soak it up. Make sure your water is boiling before you add it in. Sometimes I just add it in without the water being boiled. Okay. All right, while that is cooking, we'll just wait for this to heat up a bit. Okay, it's beginning to. This is one of the recipes that I cooked a few days ago, and my brothers and sisters enjoyed it, and I thought I should share with you tonight. Okay. That's it. It's heating up, so let's. This is too much oil. I'll just add a little bit of it just to make sure it spreads. Let's add this in. Let's add some onions in just to give a bit of flavor. Alright, this is one way in which you can enjoy your chicken for dinner or for lunch. I added the onion so that the onion, when it's cooking, the flavor can get onto the chicken. What I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure that this chicken is cooked and ready. We'll serve it aside, and then I'll stir fry the rest of the other ingredients. And then I'll remove it, put the chicken back again, and add the cream corn to it. And once I add the cream corn, I add everything back in again. So let's do this. While this is cooking, we have to check our spirals just to make sure they're all good. Let's give it a stir. Okay, it's boiling. With spirals, it's up to you if you like it too soft or just medium cooked. For this particular dish, I prefer it medium cooked. As long as it's soft and not really soft, but good to eat, that would be good. All right, we'll let this boil for another 2 minutes, and then we'll put the stove off. Now back to this. You can see the onion and the chicken mixing well. Let's give this another 5 minutes, and when we come back, we'll serve it into a bowl, and after that, we'll stir fry the rest of the ingredients. Okay, viewers, you can see our chicken has a bit of color in it, golden brown with the onions as well. Let's check our spirals. Yep, ready to go. I'll just put the meat on that side, bring in the dishes. Yeah. Okay, what I do with the spirals, I usually drain it out. So just drain the water out just to make sure that it's all nice and dry. Once the water is drained, add a bit of butter. It's up to you how much butter you'd like to put in. I just have a bit of butter here that I will add in. Why I usually add butter into my pasta, or especially with the spirals, is so that it doesn't stick together. They have this, I don't know what the ingredient that's in it that causes it, but it usually gets, like after you leave it on the side for a while, it becomes sticky and they all stuck. So I usually put butter to make sure they don't become too sticky. We'll leave this on the side. Now our chicken, before it gets bent, I'll just remove the pot to the side and bring in our bowl. Actually a saucer plate. And we have to just transfer our chicken in. Yeah, it looks lovely. There you have it. It's up to you how you'd like your chicken to turn out. This is how I like it. All right. Usually, if you want to clean your pan, you can do that. But I would prefer the onion and the chicken. There's a bit of flavor in it. So what I'll do, I'll add a bit of oil in here. And then the next thing I add in will be my carrots. Add a bit of carrot in. Just stir it around. Then the beans. These two ingredients, the beans and the carrots, they actually take some time to cook. That's why I add them in first. And then once they start cooking, once they change color, I add in the other ingredients. So let's keep stirring. Well, viewers, it's up to you how you'd like your creamy corn chicken. The ingredients that you'd want to use, it's all up to you. But I prefer beans and carrots, broccoli and capsicum. Those are part of my favorite vegetables that I like enjoying with my chicken. I like having with my chicken. So usually with capsicums, I like the green ones as well. The red ones just to add color, because I have carrots that are giving the orange color, and the beans with the green, and the red capsicum to just make my dish look lovely. All right, you can see they are changing color. The beans are beginning to go a bit darker green with the carrots. Okay, when that's ready, the next thing you need to add is your capsicum. You see, there's a bit of color combination in there. We have the red capsicum, the green bean, and the orange carrots. Now, the last thing I like, it's up to you. I like my broccoli crunchy, so like when I put them in my mouth, it like gives me the crunchy feeling. That's why I usually add my broccoli in last. Okay, just have that to the side with the other. We'll let this cook for about 2 minutes, and once it's ready, we'll add in our chicken, and we'll also add in our other main ingredient, which is the cream corn. have all of that in. But first of all, we just have to make sure this is cooked properly. Have a look at this, all cooked, green, orange, red, the colors of all the vegetables, making this dish look beautiful. Now what we'll do here, I just got some bowls out. I'll transfer this in here. Ooh. Okay. Just get our vegetables to be there. I'm going to use the same pan. I will add this chicken back in. I would also like to add a bit of water in here, just so that I have a bit of soup. Now the last ingredient to add in is our creamy corn. Just add it in. Now I usually give it 2 minutes just to heat it up. So while it's doing that, now it's ready to serve. The next thing I'm going to do is switch this off, just to make sure, and let the pan heat up the cream. We have it in here, our vegetables all cooked and ready to go. What I will do now, next, I will add in my spirals. There you see a lovely color of the spirals together with the vegetables. Now our dish is ready to serve, and the next thing to do, mix this up. And mix this up. Now for our next show, we have a new program called MediChat. This is a show based on educating ourselves on the importance of medication, the new researches carried out by our very own scientists, and a number of topics relating to the science and medical field. Tonight we show you an interesting interview we had earlier on with Jeffrey Noro, a PhD candidate and a research scholar. Good evening everyone, and thank you for joining us on our very first segment on MediChat. Tonight I have Jeffrey Noro, who is a PhD candidate at the University of New South Wales, Australia. His PhD thesis is on the marine microbial natural products with pharmacological activity, and we are happy to have him on this show. Good evening, Jeffrey.
Good evening, Nicole.
All right, it's good to have you on the show, and it's like the first one for MediChat on House and Home. Now, with your research, could you, I believe it's with regard to drug discovery process. Could you explain further on that? Give us an introduction on it?
My current PhD is actually focused on isolation of marine microbes from marine sources, including marine sponges and ocean sediments. And we are actually studying these microbial organisms because they have the genetic capabilities to produce chemicals with interesting properties, which we could actually harness as drugs.
All right. You made a mention about marine sponges in traditional medicine. Could you explain that?
I think traditional medicine is very important in terms of drug discovery because of the long history of traditional medicine. In Papua New Guinea, I think we all aware that we have so many generations of traditional knowledge which our forefathers actually used in treatment of of various diseases that actually affected them in those years. We also have a lot of history in traditional medicine, the very popular Chinese traditional medicine, which is actually in use, I think, in line with some of the current clinical medicines. But traditional medicine is also a very important tool for modern medicine because it becomes a very important source for the discovery of new chemistry, which we can use to treat diseases. In 2007, I worked on a traditional medicine that's kind of widely used in Papua New Guinea, as well as in Southeast Asia, for treatment of malaria and tropical infections. And this work led to the discovery of a new NTTP compound. And this compound actually we found to be quite potent, and at the same time it didn't harm any of the normal human cells. And that's a very good indication that this drug has a very good potential as a drug. We got a provisional patent on it in the US, but unfortunately the drug didn't really do well in some of the animal trials that we did. So it's kind of been put on hold.
All right, I'll take you back to the drug discovery process. Why are you actually carrying this project out? And I believe you have a lab that's dedicated to this.
We're really interested in discovery of new drugs, primarily because I think everyone's aware of the emergence of many of the multi-drug resistant bacteria, mostly. And it's actually, it's becoming a very costly problem in many countries, including the developed world, because there's a big burden on the healthcare system when you have patients who are sick, but you cannot treat them. And also, it's also costly because of loss of productivity. It's also, I think it's very, very important for Papua New Guinea, especially when we are seeing, the emergence of the multi-drug resistance TB strain in the country. They become immune, and the drug cannot actually, it cannot induce any activity. It cannot kill the bacterial cells. Okay. And that makes it very, very difficult
to cure that illness.
Yep.
Okay. So with that, is that why you have to go through this discovery process to discover more?
Yes, I think there's a very real need for us to continue to search, because if the current line of drugs cannot work, then I think scientists have to work hard. We need to